This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, government officials meet with Guam's Attorney General hoping to put a stop to the violence happening in local schools. Plus, a lawsuit is filed against the Naval Hospital in the District Court of Guam, a Guam couple seeking $30 million in damages, accusing a doctor of alleged medical malpractice. And a woman who admitted to selling meth on social media learns her fate. Hear what she had to say to the chief judge in federal court. Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day.
Corporal punishment in our schools. Most of the nation banned that, including here in Guam. But the recent bouts of violence and threats happening in our local schools has the topic sparking interest of some government of Guam officials.
Many of them fed up venting their frustration today in hopes that a solution is found and fast to protect the students whenever they head to class.
From the alarming trend of student fights and riots going viral on social media to the arrests of school-aged children involved in these incidents being widely publicized, government of Guam officials, including the Guam Department of Education, the Guam Education Board, Guam Police, and senators gathering at the Attorney General's office today. The group discussing the pressing need for intervention and resolution.
What we're seeing is gang-type behaviors. And their gang-type behaviors related to, and we're talking the riots and stuff, culture, groups of people that, whether it's the Micronesians, the Filipinos, Chamorros, the Reds, the Blues. This is basic gang activity that's going on, and the AG's office and the police department are the ones that normally get called because violence starts to occur when there's an outbreak.
The roundtable comes in the wake of the most recent riot involving Simon Sanchez High students currently in double session at John F. Kennedy High School in Upper Tumon. A.G. Moylan sharing some of his ideas in hopes to deter student violence with a room full of school principals and other community members. Among those suggestions include Child Protective Services referrals for suspected problem kids.
CP has certain powers under the executive branch to cause investigations. Like when a name comes up, people come on that list, they have the authority to immediately do a home study to start investigating the parents. And I believe part of this has got to be our parents out there.
The AG also bringing corporal punishment into the conversation, wanting to get the island's pulse on discipline.
But on page 36, you have a discussion about what is corporal punishment, what states are allowing it, and what states are not allowing it. And then there's all different grades of it, where it's legal, unused, and so forth. This is a question of whether or not Guam wishes to have some form of corporal punishment.
A.G. Moylan throwing out other brainstormed disciplinary action ideas.
It's no use to, in my opinion, to do corporal punishment when the kid's already 17, 15. Parents need to do that when they're young. The problem that we face as a community is that we get them all different shades, all different colors, and so forth. I'm one of the advocates for not corporal punishment, but we need to start discussing it.
Moylan suggesting whatever the solution, that the plan should include testing it out at an actual campus.
This is a question of whether or not Guam wishes to have some form of corporal punishment. I'm also an advocate of not expelling kids or suspending them. Take the children, take the kids, take the minors at all ages, and then have a progressive form of discipline and work with the principals to decide what exactly is going to be done. For example, cleaning the bathrooms. It's something that nobody wants to do, but with that social media out there, or cleaning school or law enforcement police vehicles, but do it when the other kids are around so you get the positive reinforcement through a negative type of act. And, use the social network against the kids. The same thing that we have back then, which is peer pressure, exists even more so now because you have the online bullying, you have everything that we had in the past. We just need to find a way to use it and turn it against the bullies, turn it against those alpha males that think it's cool to be beating up kids.
The AG also asking where does the island stand in terms of discipline. Meantime, Guam Education Board members shared their frustration during the meeting.
We all have a responsibility. We just cannot kick out the kids from school.
And we need more men in this community to stand up. We have a lot of divorce, a lot of divided families, a lot of absent fathers. And we need men to stand up and say, this behavior is intolerable. It doesn't matter whether it's their uncle or relative. And also many mothers are having to do a father's role. And I believe that families are part of the solution. Thank you.
Allow the principal to send a notice to the child and say, you are going to make sure your parents get this. If the second time the notice comes and that they did not show up, the AG's office can send the referral to the court to call the parents in. Do the study right away with CPS. We've got to clamp it down. These kids are taking advantage of us, and the parents, here's the concept. Okay, you're the teacher. Okay. Do you understand what we said? Yes. They really don't understand what's going on. So I'm begging you and asking you, allow the principals to send that notice to that kid.
And while the Attorney General poses identifying and offering jobs to what he calls, quote, alpha students and gang leaders, others like Legislative Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes suggest not reinventing the wheel, but revisiting past programs that many in the room grew up knowing.
Everybody is saying that even to work with the SROs, there's a funding issue. Is it really the funding issue, or is it just trying to go out there and do the community outreach? I think those are things that are very important.
It's all things to consider as the conversation on school violence continues.
Wow, what a topic of discussion there, Des.
Right.
And of course, well needed with all those videos we've seen circulating, students being placed under arrest, and the social media threats, of course, that sparked this all today. Now, with all of the discussion around corporal punishment, in the time that you were in that room, did anyone speak in opposition to it?
Not from my recollection. I can't remember or I can't recall anybody at the moment speaking in opposition to it, but definitely it is a conversation that we will continue to have. And if you out there want to watch and tune into the discussion, you can watch more from today's roundtable discussion on KUAM's Facebook page. Now, in other news, the U.S. Naval Hospital Guam is faced with a $30 million medical malpractice lawsuit.
A Guam couple suing the federal government, claiming the military hospital failed to give proper medical care and abandoned the patient. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
A Guam couple is seeking $30 million in damages from the federal government, specifically the U.S. Naval Hospital Guam. Plaintiffs Sandra and John Lipheimer accusing the military hospital of medical malpractice and negligence. The lawsuit filed in the District Court of Guam a day after Christmas with their administrative federal tort claims denied earlier this summer. The Lipheimers alleging Naval Hospital neglected the wife's worsening conditions and abandoned her. In April of 2021, Mrs. Lipheimer was admitted to the hospital's ER for a suspected abscess in the left side of her face. The lawsuit states she has a history of aortic stenosis, hypertension, and hyperlipidemia. The doctor assessed her condition and performed surgery. The suit alleges that in less than 48 hours, the hospital discharged her with oral antibiotics, but her condition was not resolved and instead worsened. In the following days, she complained of extreme pain and fever, numbness in her jaw and neck, was unable to fully open her jaw or move the left side of her mouth. She was advised that she would need a CT scan and blood work, but the hospital allegedly telling her their CT scan was not working and sent her home with worsening conditions. Furthermore, she alleges the hospital failed to refer her to other providers or arrange for alternative care. Her deteriorating state resulting in permanent scarring and disfigurement, further surgeries, emotional distress for both husband and wife, and more. The couple's attorney declined comment on the lawsuit at this time. KUAM also reached out to the Naval Hospital Guam for comment. Mitsuki Hariyama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Mitsuki. A former Guam National Guard soldier convicted of trying to have sex with a teenage girl partially wins his fight before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, but he's not getting any time taken off his prison sentence. Christopher De Leon Guerrero, who was convicted of 2 counts of attempted enticement of a minor in 2020, is serving a 10-year sentence in federal prison. The Ninth Circuit denying his request to overturn his conviction and sentence, but reversing and remanding 3 special conditions that a district court judge included in his supervised release conditions. The appeals court ruling the condition that bans him from being anywhere with children and the condition that restricts him from viewing sexually explicit videos after he gets out is too broad. The condition that he must participate in sex offense specific treatment was also reversed. De Leon Guerrero is scheduled to be released in November of 2029. As KUAM reported, the ex-soldier met the 13-year-old girl online and planned to meet her on Andersen Air Force Base, but it turned out the child was an undercover agent with the military.
A convicted social media meth dealer will serve nearly 5 years in federal prison. 55-year-old Susan O'Connor Mata appeared before Judge Francis Tidingo Gatewood in the District Court of Guam today. Mata has since pleaded guilty to distribution of methamphetamine hydrochloride. The judge sentenced her to a total of 57 months with credit time served. Prior to learning her fate, Mata told the court, quote, "I fully accept the responsibility and I'm sorry for my actions. I want to say sorry to my friends, family, and my children who I have hurt the most." She declined comment outside of the courthouse. Now, as we reported, the case involved more than 83 grams of meth and $6,500 in drug proceeds. Earlier this year, Mata had arranged to meet up with drug buyers in Tamuning after connecting with them on the Facebook Messenger app. Mata requested to serve time in California. She will be placed on 3 years supervised release when she gets out.
She allegedly admitted to stealing thousands of dollars from her employer. 35-year-old Cynthia Serapio is charged with 2 counts of theft. Court documents state Serapio was an employee with Tita's Bakery in Santa Rita. Guam police responding to the business on Christmas Eve after the victim reported $2,000 in cash went missing from a locked drawer. The victim also allegedly telling officers about $6,000 was apparently taken from the drawer earlier this month. Documents state Serapio was the only employee who knew where the key was for the money drawer. Serapio allegedly admitted to authorities to stealing the cash from her employer over the past 2 months. There are now 2 different bills on what to do with the old public health building in Manilao. Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes' proposal is to turn it over to GCC for a medical professionals training facility.
But Speaker Therese Terlahi wants to keep it with DPHSS so it can provide more much-needed services. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Vice Speaker Barnes introduced her measure first to simply transfer the title of the Manilao Public Health Building to GCC, and she has reassurances that GCC, which badly needs more space, will find the grant funding to turn it into an equally badly needed training facility for various medical health professions. But Speaker Therese Terlahi's bill is in response to an oversight hearing on the state of public health medical centers.
Some of the people testifying, including the acting chief public health officer, they are begging us to restore their home back there in Manilao. That building, they said, was able to provide multiple services to their clients, and they want that restored.
The Speaker's position is that we can't wait 5 years or longer for a medical campus to be built to provide more critical public health services.
What I was thinking is, if it could be renovated, of course, and to bring it up to, standards that it's not a fire hazard anymore, and that they can more quickly resume services. That is my goal. These are critical services, critical services. And that to me is just a priority for right now.
The Barnes bill does not cite any local funding for a proposed GCC training facility, but Terlahi's renovation proposal may require it.
We will determine that funding when we see the condition of the building, right? So if we have to renovate plumbing, for example, I don't expect that. See, this building has infrastructure in it. It had working infrastructure. Electrical is what needs to be redone. I'm thinking that renovating it may be to a usable condition, may be more economical than rebuilding, and it's definitely going to be faster. So that's really my key is the quickness of it.
She says what will ultimately determine what to do with the building is a detailed assessment of electrical, structural, plumbing, and air conditioning at the abandoned facility. It's then that the legislature can better determine which of the two options to go for.
That would help all of us to decide the best use of the buildings. But I've already heard from nurses who practice out of public health, Manila, for many years. These are the supervisors and the ones who were out in the field during COVID, and they are almost crying to me that we need that building back.
The public hearings for either measure have not yet been scheduled. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Thanks, Ness. Department of Corrections leadership are set to take the hot seat before lawmakers this Friday. Among the issues to be discussed, overcrowding and contraband.
The public discussion happening following our news special, The Less Than 1% of Guam, where we showed you the unbearable conditions inmates and the staff are forced to deal with.
A growing prison population setting records, the problem revealed by Department of Corrections inmates and staff when KUAM took a look inside both facilities last month.
Just asked that they come prepared and, ready to really air out everything that needs to be discussed.
Now, Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Chris Barnett has scheduled an oversight hearing with prison leaders.
I want to find out more about the discussions that were had between our Director of Corrections here in Guam and the Corrections leadership and the CNMI and find out where that's going. I've spoken to the Director Berdalio about alternate solutions, alternate places, and he seems to be looking at the federal government for answers. So we're excited to hear what those answers could be. But again, this is a problem that, it's a life or death scenario. We're looking at all the risks that are posed not only to the inmates and detainees, but again to the hardworking corrections family as well.
Prison staff have been forced to pay out of pocket to cover essentials and supplies that the department otherwise is unable to provide regularly. Officers also remain severely short-staffed, putting their lives at risk daily.
Every day we're setting a new high with the number of people inside that facility, and these are very dangerous waters that we're treading in, and I think that it's not just going to take the legislature. Obviously, the administration, Adelup, has to do a lot of the heavy lifting that we need to really move past this situation. But we're in a tough situation, Nick. It's we're locking people up, but we see, like, especially with the detainees, a lot of the pretrial release, a lot of the things that are happening out here in the community. You got guys who are out here on pretrial release on 3 different cases, and they're still committing crimes. So I think that when we talk about solutions, we have to be really careful. No pun intended about opening the floodgates, right? But I think that we have to look at nonviolent offenders, but the solution cannot be that we just got to stop putting people in prison, because I'm of the belief you do the crime, you do the time, and a lot of these people are really victimizing our society.
DOC Director Fred Berdalio says his staff is ready to let senators know more on their current situation, along with what they need.
The situation of overcrowding, it's not new that we have an increase of an inmate population now, especially our pretrial detention. And so one of the issues, of course, is overcrowding. The number of contrabands, of course, been intercepting, which poses a danger not only to the inmates when contraband is being brought in or is in and hidden in the facility, the detection of that, but it poses a danger to staff and also other inmates too, right? So those are some of the kind of topics we're going to be talking about in some of the areas in our plan, our 2023 to 2026 plan, strategic plan that I'm going to sort of be discussing with the senators.
He also plans to detail where his agency is with Department of Public Works and Guam Economic Development Authority for a new prison.
Other areas I think that are going to be in the topic of what we're doing in terms of building our full-time force, the program that we have. What we do to bring more individuals to work for the security element, and what other kind of strategic responses we can do.
Berdalio adding the priority needs are expected to be pricey.
Obviously, there from the typhoon and everything else, there are a lot of things that had broken down, like the air conditioning systems. There's other places that the air conditions work in our facility, but we definitely need to get these projects and the procurement of these air-conditioned portable air cons and stuff installed, so we can at least mitigate some of it while we're doing a planned bid out, because it's going to cost a lot of money.
DOC's oversight hearing is scheduled to begin Friday morning.
Now to the successful rescue off Tangisan Beach over the holiday weekend. The U.S. Coast Guard rescuing a stranded boat named Rascal after it was disabled and adrift in the northern waters on December 23rd. A U.S. Coast Guard 45-foot response boat medium from Apple Harbor answering a distress call from the 28-foot recreational vessel. There were 6 adults on board Rascal.
U.S. Coast Guard forces Micronesia Sector Guam alongside Guam Fire Rescue conducted a seamless search and rescue operation. Rascal was safely towed to the Hagåtña Boat Basin. The National Weather Service continues to warn of a high risk of rip currents in Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan through Thursday morning. A small craft advisory is expected to end this evening, but conditions may rise by the weekend. The NWS says inexperienced mariners, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid boating in hazardous conditions.
Stranded boat named Rascal and
Little
being
Rascal.
a little rascal. Glad they're all safe, though.
Very glad, very glad.
Time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Peacock is streaming your NBC local station now.
A tip sending police.
Get your local news and weather.
Wow, definitely one of a kind.
At home or on the go.
Mitigation process.
Plus, your favorite NBC shows. From morning till night, live.
Welcome to Today. So good to have you with us.
You make a great team, huh?
And so much more.
Welcome aboard.
That was awesome.
All in one place. Streaming now on Peacock.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
While you've been waiting to see if EVs are a thing, my dad went electric.
Up to 360 miles on a single charge.
And if my dad's on board, yours could be next.
You know I'm doing this for the next generation.
Dad, we are not having the grandkids conversation again.
No, I'm just saying EVs are good for any generation. Or all generations. Generationally good.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Merry Christmas everywhere so it would last.
Merry Christmas, Mom. I love you.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Primetime. Christmas looks a lot different in Hawaii this year. Nearly 5 months after wildfires caused one of the worst disasters in modern history, tourism is bouncing back.
But for residents of Lahaina, serious challenges remain. Dana Griffin has the story.
Overlooking the burn scar of the historic town of Lahaina sit symbols of those who perished here. 100 crosses built from wood, salvaged from the ruins.
When families come, it brings them a little bit of comfort and not just sorrow.
Shawnee Schweitzer and her husband Matt made a pledge to maintain this memorial, adding wreaths and garland for Christmas. And while the holiday has brought another wave of tourism to Maui, the west side of the island is still struggling.
We were living a nightmare, and now 4 months later, it sometimes feels worse.
More hotels will soon begin to relocate evacuees to accommodate upcoming tourist bookings. Frustrating fire victims left in limbo, rallying just before Christmas for long-term housing.
My family have had to move around 5 times, live out of suitcases, and not know when or where the next move will be.
To get more families housed, Hawaii's governor has threatened to ban vacation rentals if more owners don't volunteer for a program that would pay them and offer tax breaks to house displaced fire victims.
I'm sure we will face litigation, but I will do it if we don't get 3,000 units for our people who have been living in hotels, because it's not civilized.
Rebuilding will take years. Now that the EPA has completed the hazmat cleanup, this 3D photo map created by a Hawaiian company and powered by AI is being used by officials to see precise details of the disaster zone.
For example, a road needs to be rebuilt or a community. They can actually plan that reconstruction inside of the model before they go out and do it in real time.
But this Christmas, the community is clear. They will not turn their backs on each other.
That's what Christmas is all about, loving your neighbor.
Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Back here at home, is the Guam Election Commission up to par when it comes to election matters?
Well, a federal election officially recently wrapped up visits to Guam and Saipan to find out just that. Jonah Gincharfaris has more.
After a number of years of Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan inviting Thomas Hicks to visit the island, he finally took her up on her offer. Hicks is the commissioner with the U.S. Election Assistance Commission and recently was on Guam to observe the GEC and see the inner workings of the commission.
Guam is no different than Texas or Arizona or New Mexico or Massachusetts in terms of me going to those jurisdictions to see how they run elections and talk to officials there and students about their election experiences, what things the EAC can do to help them with the casting of votes and what other resources they may need.
Hicks also went to Saipan and met with the governor and other officials there to talk about a number of issues that Saipan does not have representation on the EAC's standards report, but is something the members of Congress will discuss. Here on Guam, Hicks had an intensive schedule that concluded with a GEC board meeting. He says it's ongoing education when it comes to election matters.
Going to talk to the military folks about the changes that they're making with Guam being a forward-leaning base as well. So with the number of Marines moving from Okinawa to Guam, that's going to change because of, when I talk about elections, it's not just permanent folks, it's also those who serve military and overseas voters as well.
As for if he spotted any weaknesses or noted strengths when it comes to the elections on Guam, Hicks says all election officials have the same goal.
And that's to ensure that those who are eligible to vote can have their votes cast and counted accurately. Guam is looking at ensuring that their votes are not just counted accurately, but to increase that in terms of the voter participation, but also increase the time that it takes to accumulate those votes. So I believe now that there is an issue of it going to 6 o'clock the next morning, but there are proposals being put out to shorten that time frame so that folks like you can find those answers a little bit quicker.
Overall, Hicks' visit was a good one.
It's been really great to be here. Everyone has been really friendly. The food has been excellent. But I think that also talking to the commissioners has been really helpful.
Jonah Gunn-Charfris, KUAM News.
Thanks, Joan. The Mayor's Council needs more time to select a new executive director. During a special meeting today, President Jesse Alex says the selection committee still wants to formalize the specific job responsibilities.
There were various reasons. Not that no one was qualified. It was that the issues and the complexities of the problems that we have in the Mayor's Council of Guam are vast, and they also vary. It was also determined at the committee level that perhaps we could manage it on our own in the interim and get us, the Mayor's Council, to a place where all of us, mayors and vice mayors, are content with the process and with the procedures of this council.
The committee hopes to wrap up the position requirements within a month and present the list of top 3 applicants to the full body for final selection. Until then, President Alec was approved as the interim executive director. The position became open after longtime director Angel Sablon retired earlier this month, but he's since unretired after being appointed as the new director of Parks and Recreation. Today is a good day for the Guam Police Department. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio saying that as the department welcomed 7 new lieutenants in their ranks.
The newly promoted officers were selected and recognized for not just how long they have served in the GPD, but their dedication to their job and how ready they are to take the lead in protecting and serving the people. Julian Hernandez has more.
It's a happy day for 7 officers from the Guam Police Department as they begin their duties as newly promoted lieutenants. A promotional ceremony was held this morning at Adelup. With a huge smile on his face, Police Chief Stephen Ignacio says these promotions are not just formality, but a recognition of the years of hard work and dedication these officers made to serving and protecting the island community.
I am confident that our newly promoted police lieutenants will continue to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and excellence. Their wealth of knowledge and proven track record as leaders in their respective fields makes them well equipped to navigate the challenges that lie ahead.
Governor Lou Leon Guerrero shared her gratitude to not just the new lieutenants, but to the rest of the men and women in blue for keeping the island safe and peaceful.
As we look at what's going around in the whole world, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of hatred. And I don't feel that here in our community. And I have to say that we won't be here today in that great environment if it wasn't for our police officers and our law enforcement agencies. I have to say that you have contributed so much to our feelings of security and making our families less anxious.
At the ceremony, the newly promoted lieutenants each received their certificates and were pinned by their loved ones. Families and colleagues cheering them on as they are ready to embark on their new leadership journey. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
Congrats, LTs.
Yeah, congrats, everyone. All right, now to good news for the economy. 2023 is ending on a high note as markets soar and prices fall.
But with the new year just days away, a lot still remains uncertain.
Instead of the lump of coal many Americans expected, some Christmas cheer. Prices actually fell in November from October. That hasn't happened in 3 years. And the persistent gloom about the economy that gripped many Americans this year may have broken at least a bit. Consumer confidence now the highest in months.
When we ask consumers, what do you think about interest rates for next year, they believe that they will be lower. the mortgage rate is falling. And certainly for anyone looking to buy a home, that's really great news. And then finally, we believe that consumers are much happier about the fact that inflation is not as intense as it used to be.
That survey found consumers' expectations for a recession in the next 12 months the lowest it's been all year.
What's your letter grade for the U.S. economy as we head into 2024?
Oh, it's a solid B. I would even give it a B+.
On Main Street, mortgage rates have been falling after topping 8% in October, now well below 7%. Prices have been falling on some critical holiday spending items: airfares, car rentals, gasoline, toys, TVs, and sporting goods. President Biden touting that wages are now growing faster than inflation. On Wall Street, all three major indexes are up dramatically for the year. Still, the national mood has been fragile. Home affordability is the worst in a generation, and inflation, though improving, has left a deep scar on Americans' psyche.
People don't have short memories. They remember losing their jobs in 2020. They remember how hard it was to find new ground.
In the new year, the challenges for many will be student loan payments and those holiday credit card bills coming due. And the biggest risk, the unexpected that could affect the economy in ways we don't foresee. Christine Romans, NBC News, New York.
Since it's the middle of the week, it's time for Holiday 101, our roster of useful tips to help you get the most out of the season.
Tonight, our Jason Salas highlights New Year, New You, finding out ways to how you can have a healthier and happier 2024.
Holiday 101 is presented by Coast 360 Federal Credit Union.
Happy day, everybody, and Happy New Year. Holiday 101 continues to come to you with amazing tips from amazing people, and I have one such expert here, Livia Marathi from Wellness Collective. Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And thanks for joining me today. So, Liv, we're going to talk about something that's on everybody's mind right now, not just making New Year's resolutions, but actually making those that are practical and making sure that we can actually come through and follow them. And that is something that you are very, very passionate about.
Yes, definitely. This is a busy time of the year because everyone's deciding what their New Year's resolutions are going to be, how they want to change in the new year. I would say the first thing before people set their New Year's resolutions, though, is to carve out some time to actually reflect. A lot of people jump right into 2024, right to the new year, without carving out some time to think, what am I celebrating? What did I learn? What are my lessons before I jump right into the new year? So that would be my first recommendation, is carve out some time in this last week to really slow down, to reflect.
Okay, that's a good one. I would also say, if I may, I'm certainly no expert, but I would also add that, we Guamanians, we're not afraid of hard work. You also have to put in the sweat equity, everybody. Everybody makes like, I want to lose weight, I want to get in shape, I want to get my finances in order. You have to put some work into this.
Absolutely. And one area that people often overlook that is related to losing weight, working out, all of the typical goals, is looking at your home environment. When you look at your home environment and see how can I set it up to actually support my habits, that's something that people often don't think of, but it's often something that's on their mind. It's like, I would love to redo, my living space. I would love to clean up my kitchen. I would love to create a home gym, right? So there's a lot of things we can do at home before we venture out to go set our goals outside of the home.
Yeah, everybody always says that manifested into existence, but that is the first step. Then you actually got to make it happen.
Definitely. It's thinking about not only what do you want to create, why do you want to create it, why do you want that to be your intention, and then the environment, right? Am I in the environment that allows me to have these habits and to really thrive? And so it's looking at your home environment, your work environment, even your car, right? Looking at all the different spaces you spend time in and optimizing that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, of course, like in the various workshops that you do. You got one coming up this weekend, actually, too. That's virtual.
On Saturday, we have an intention setting manifestation workshop. It's free, it's virtual. We have over 100 people registered for it. So, people are welcome to join. It's a nice way to gather in a virtual space and set our intentions before we get into 2024.
And how can people register for that?
They can go to our website, so wellnesscollective.com, or Instagram, Wellness Collective.
Manifest that registration, everybody.
Yes. Like I said, it's nice to be able to gather as a community, set our intention, write it down, speak it out loud, and see what happens in the new year.
Now we're talking about being physically strong, financially stable, but you've also really educated our community about being mentally and spiritually balanced. Yes. How can people do that in the new year?
Absolutely. So oftentimes when people set their New Year's resolutions, it is on the physical side. Like you said, I want to lose weight, I want to go to the gym. But before that even happens, we have to take care of our mind. We have to have the motivation. We have to unpack some of the limiting beliefs that we have So in a lot of the work we do, we look at mental health, we look at spiritual health, emotional health. One of the things I really try to ask my clients is how can we spark more joy in your life? And oftentimes people are like, I can't go to the gym, but when you ask them, why not? They don't enjoy it, right? Finding things that they really enjoy, things that bring joy to their life is, again, something that people often overlook when they're starting their wellness journey. They can feel guilt or they can feel like, I'm not motivated enough, but it's finding things that you truly, truly enjoy.
Find an excuse to win. All you got to do is have a little bit of thing and then, blow that up. Exactly. It will make a big difference. Okay, goals that can be achieved. What about people biting off a little bit more than they can chew?
That often is a big thing, and people want to change everything at once. One of the things that I recommend if you're starting a habit is to think about habit stacking. So look at 2 habits that you want to create and see how you can do them together, right? Maybe you want to start walking, but you also want to start self-development and listening to podcasts. Or maybe you listen to a podcast while you walk. Maybe you have your morning coffee while you read, right? What are 2 things that you can put together that make sense that then allow it to be a little bit easier? The other thing I always recommend is just looking at your calendar to start, clear some space off, get the things on there that you really want to do, your workouts, your self-care, your days off, your vacation. Like look at your calendar from what do I want to do to support myself versus how do I want to fill it back to back.
Habit stacking. I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Habit stacking.
Let's get that hashtag habit stacking. X, Twitter, whatever the heck it's called right now, Instagram and everything. Let's make sure that everybody knows that we are habit stacking in Guam in 2024. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity because a dear friend of mine is here. Can we actually show people how they can actually be like relaxed and everything? We might as well get a free yoga lesson because we got one of the best on our island here.
Definitely.
And we just happen to be sitting on a mat. Who would have thought?
Yeah, so I think a 1-minute meditation that you could do is a body scan, and that's simply just closing your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just start to scan the body, starting from the toes, all the way up the legs, up through the spine, relaxing the shoulders, and just notice where in the body you're holding on to tension. A lot of times we're holding tension in the hips, maybe in the shoulders, in the jaw, in the face. So just taking a moment to slowly notice where are you holding on to that tension and see if you can release it, even just 1%. And a really easy way that you can calm down is by focusing on the breath. So we're going to take 3 big breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So when you're ready, take a big full breath in, fill up the whole body with air, and then open mouth, sigh it out. Twice more, take a big breath in, fill up the whole body with air, expand it, and then exhale it out. And then last time, biggest breath you've taken all day, sip in a little bit more air at the top, and exhale, let it go. Slowly open the eyes, shake out the head, shake out the arms, shake out the fingers. Feeling more relaxed?
I am.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Let's go 2024. I was feeling all like motivated and jazzed, 200 miles per hour, but it is. So again, reflect.
Reflect, look at your home environment, get some accountability in the mix, habit stack.
Habit stack.
Keep it simple.
All right.
Yeah.
Habit stack.
Habit stack.
Habit stack. We are making ourselves better and you're better and our community better in 2024 because that's what we do right here on Holiday 101. Remember, make sure to register for Olivia's wonderful virtual and free session this weekend. Again, what's the website?
EdenWellnessCollective.com or Eden Wellness Collective on Instagram.
There you go. Happy New Year, everybody, and Happy New Year to you and your team and your family.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Holiday 101 is presented by Coast 360 Federal Credit Union.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here is a view of the Christmas lights display at the CNMI Governor's Office on Capitol Hill.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you ready to drive into the future? Introducing the all-new BMW i family, Guam's only all-electric luxury vehicle. Be a part of the electrifying future with the all-new BMW i family. Now available at Atkins Kroll.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Zoom Zoom! 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
Triple treat box, 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat, 5 breadsticks, and a pizza plus another pizza. Triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
Proudly distributed by
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you,
We're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
In 2022, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the award for World Car of the Year. So, of course, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 just had to go out and win World Car of the Year for 2023. Because everyone knows how competitive sibling rivalries can be. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
New chicken nuggets from KFC?
Everybody's gonna want these. Let's eat these inside.
Try new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. You've never had nuggets like these.
Zoom Zoom! 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
Happy day and happy holidays, everybody. I am at KAHA down at the DNA building where a very, very wonderful member of our community, Mr. John Durkin, has an art exhibit, and we are going to hear from the artist himself. So, look what we have here. John, happy holidays.
How are you?
Very nice to see you.
Merry Christmas to
Yeah,
you.
it has been quite a while, but you are blessing the island, with your unique visions, your gift, your art.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hoping to share a little bit with the community today. We go way back, Jason and I. We did this about 15 years ago.
We did, yes.
Show of mine.
Yeah, can you take us around some of your pieces and just explain?
In this area are wood block and linoleum block prints. Motorcyclist. I tried to put a little drama. Have a motorcyclist here with a lady on the back. Here, and then this is a wood block print, a different process. And then here's the block caraval. Here's a.
And these are pieces that you've actually created, for over the years, and
yes.
Yeah.
And here's a little graphite drawing, a self-portrait. Kidding, of course. And over here are some historical ones that I'd like. This is from the old prince of Guam, and this is the Spanish soldier back in the early 1800s, probably from South America. A mercenary soldier for the Spanish. And then here's a couple fishermen. And so on, enjoying his, I don't know what he's enjoying there, but it's something having to do with smoke. And here is an image of a mayor back in the 1800s.
Very nice, yes. Mayor in
They were called administrators, but they're
municipal leader, basically. I would say, John, most people on our island know you because of your very devout work in the church. Many people also know you as a practitioner of law. But art has always been a passion of yours, and clearly you're very, very good at it.
Well, for many years, I should be better than I am now, but I enjoy doing it.
And you do it on a variety of mediums too, because you paint, you sculpt.
I think it's all about the process. The process is fun.
Okay, this is wonderful.
Well, the fellow I portrayed standing right back here, that's, some people in Guam don't remember him, Cliff and his little daughter in Tuma.
Very nice. So on display
this
at
is
KAHA.
another granddaughter, John Paul's daughter.
Yep.
Some people know John Paul.
I interviewed him not too long ago, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
And here's Stephen, who's also here today, and his lovely daughter, Michaela.
I remember going to clubs to watch Steve Durkin sing.
Really?
Yeah, very talented musician.
Michaela's going to be visiting us. She's got some parts in movies back in Hollywood.
Very nice.
As a Korean American.
So obviously the talent within the Durkin family is abundant.
I don't know about that. But anyway, Jason, it's hard to do a member of your family. And my theory is that if you paint a picture of a stranger, you've got one image of that person. If it's a family member, you've got thousands of images, and it's hard to get a likeness. So I have to struggle with family members.
Yeah. What do they say when you actually reveal these pieces and say son, granddaughter? this is how I see you.
Well, I just asked them today, and they told me they liked them, but you can't trust children. They like everything you say.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, she's
Tori and Gia.
Two granddaughters. They have a lot of cousins in Guam.
How long does it take you, John, to do something like that? Because obviously, it's it's a passion, it's a hobby again, but you're also putting your heart into this because there is such a connection for you because these are your grandchildren.
People often ask how long does it take. If it's coming, if it's in your mind, it comes rather quickly.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And if especially a portrait of your family members, that's difficult.
Okay. Some people would say you can't rush art, but then again, if it's inside you and it is your blood, I guess it does come quickly.
It's a process that I enjoy.
Okay. You're also very adept at capturing other members of the animal kingdom.
Yeah, I enjoy doing animals. I take courses at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts online.
Mm-hmm.
This is a certain course in depicting animals.
Okay, so even in your retirement age, you're still taking classes. You're still expanding your skill set.
I've taken many courses at the Art Institute of Chicago and the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts is the first art school in America, 1806.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is amazing. Just the way here it's laid out at Kaha too. Just seeing like the different variations on a theme, if you will. So kind of take me through this, John. And what were you thinking when you created this?
My granddaughters told me to call the lady Francesca.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is what Francesca wants, and the images are surrealistic of the girl.
Right.
But their image of what they really want are more realistic mode. So you've got a combination between realism and surrealism and a little bit of realism.
Mm-hmm.
With the bubbles that indicate that's what she's dreaming about.
And so many young people these days, John, I mean, they get their impressions of art from social media. They go on Instagram and things like this. This wonderful gallery that you're now sharing with the island, I mean, this is a way that the family can experience, true art, in its natural form, for the holidays. I think this is amazing.
I hope it's true art. It's kind of within the Christmas spirit of giving.
Mm-hmm. Well, that being the case, can you give a invitation to the island community to come down and enjoy this as I am right now? I mean, I've got the best job in the world.
So everybody's invited. We'll have some wine and food, and we expect a good crowd, and there's plenty for them. Over here is another group of I think there's 12 or so, 13.
All right, cameo by Steve Durkin. What's up, Steve? Happy holidays, then. Okay, I don't want to give everything away because there are many, many amazing pictures here that you're sharing your soul. This is you. These are your unique perception of the world, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Well, that's what artists can give their view of the world to other people.
Absolutely. So, John, happy holidays.
Well,
very good to see you again. Always a pleasure, and thank you for sharing this art with us.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the process.
The holidays are a joyous time, my friends, and let's keep it that way. So if you or anyone you know is in need of a safe ride home, there is a service for you. There it is right now, 988. Our friends at Togi doing wonderful work for our community. December 22nd, which already passed, all the way through the day after New Year's. Give 988 a call for a safe ride home and a friendly voice to talk to if you are feeling the holiday blues. They're doing the Lord's work there. Have you checked out the LED lights display in Sinanya? If not, you got to head down to Central Guam because they are doing amazing work that day nightly from 6 to 9 p.m. Last day is a week after New Year's, so take the family, go down there. The multi-purpose gym is fantastic. Mayor Robert Hoffman and his staff doing a fantastic job there. Love and lights. What more do you need to know? The two essential things this time of year. And from now until the 8th of January, up in Saipan, there is a lot happening because starting at 5:30 in the afternoon and going until 9 p.m., the Garapan Sugar King Park is hosting Christmas at the park. They have lights, they have food, they have drinks, they have fun, and they have you if you show up, and we certainly hope that you do. And that's what we do right here on News Bites, connecting awesome people like you with awesome events like these.
It's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery birthday